Hello and welcome to the Gun Locker. Now I've got some really exciting news for you guys, and it concerns all of this. What you can see here are targets, reactive targets that are produced by the Airgun target company, and they're based down in Sanborn near Redditch. Now when I went down to the Great British Shooting Show a couple of weeks back, I actually had a good chat with Tom, who's one of the partners, directors of the company, and I really did want to interview them whilst they were down at the show. Unfortunately, the audio was so bad that it made recording very, very difficult. So what I did is I arranged to go down and see them. On Thursday, I made the 200-mile round trip to go and visit them at their premises. And although, I mean, the environment that they're working in is absolutely fantastic. It is a beautiful spot for sure, but it is, to be fair, a cottage industry. And it's run by two guys. There's Tom and there's Max. They've been friends since they were 11, and they decided to set up this company in 2020. I've got to say, for the two of them, you know, working by themselves, with the equipment they've got, they have the ability to scale up. There's no two ways about it. And I think with the quality of the products that I've got here in front of me, that's something that's going to be happening in the not too distant future. Guys, these, you know, this company needs your support. It really does, and it will be so worth it, because the nice thing about Tom and Max is that they're open to ideas. I'm sorry. What you can see here is just a selection of what they have on offer on their website. You have reactive targets, you've got knockdown targets, reset. At the moment they don't have resettable targets with strings because they find them messy and awkward to kind of deal with. The reactive targets, as they are, kind of reset themselves anyway. And then you've got, you know, things like this crow here. Oops, I'll explain a little bit more about that. But the gongs at the back, you can actually very easily replace, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as well. Try and get this back together. Always happens to me. Come on, in you go. There you go, nice and easy. I say nice and easy, it's always easier when you haven't got a camera looking at you. But what's really interesting about this company is that they've kind of got three divisions to it. They've got the airgun side of things, they've got the kind of rimfire and FAC air rifle kind of department, and then they've got the centerfire full bore rifles as well. And if you wanted to go more down the road of centerfire, you know, the heavier calibers, then simply pick up the phone and speak to them, and they'll talk to you about all the different gongs and targets and reactive targets that they've got for that discipline. Much heavier stuff. But what you see here for the most part is airgun, except for this pellet trap here, which is suitable and rated for 2.2 rimfire and FAC air rifles. And the difference between the two, you probably will pick it up, is that with the airgun side of things, the sheet metal that they use is 3mm thick, and it's more than adequate to cope with pellets impacting on them. I have to say that on this Know Your Limits down here, these gongs are actually made from 6mm plate, so they're a lot thicker and they will take a lot of abuse, that's for sure. But yeah, the sort of rimfire and the FAC rated targets, that's 6mm plate, and it's an awful lot heavier and stronger, more robust than, you know, the 3mm plate. What else can I say? So you've got a selection of targets here, and you'll note that they're not sprayed up. that they're bare metal, and there's a reason behind that. One, and this is a very important reason, because the company is new, they need to keep their overheads to a minimum, you know, to survive, like any sensible business does. And in spray painting all of these items, it opens them up to not only additional cost, and that cost would then have to be transferred onto yourselves, but then there's a whole different issue with regards to quality control as well, and that puts on a lot of cost. And they've decided to go bare metal because, in fairness, once you've shot these targets and they've been sprayed up, they mark up really damn quickly. And the idea is that you can spray these targets up yourselves or paint them, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to be using a mixture of spray paints and also acrylic paints as well on them, to see which react better when they've been shot at with a pellet. But you will receive them as you see them. And the beautiful thing about these is, as you noticed when I was messing about with the crow target there, they're very easy to put together. You don't need screws and bolts unless you've got something like the resettable target here. And I'm gonna make an apology here. He should have, because it's a cowboy, he should have a cowboy hat wearing a Stetson, a 5-gallon hat, whatever the hell they call them. But I picked up the wrong paddle as I was, in my excitement, talking to the guys and joking about as I do. I picked up the wrong paddles. So if you look on their website, you'll see a profile of a head and a 5-gallon hat, whatever the hell the Americans call them. Yeah, my mistake. So, lost my train of thought there. That's what happens when I ad-lib. But let me just talk to you. I mean, I mentioned about keeping costs down. What makes these targets so attractive is that if you, let me go with the cheapest one first. So let's look at this rat. Now this rat basically can disassemble very easily. It has a cross plate and it's all a slotting mechanism, so you don't need any fixtures and fittings. And when it comes to you delivered, it's basically set up like this. Okay, there's the reactive gong, and this simply slips out as well. It has a 25mm aperture, okay, and what you'll see here with the targets is that they either have a 25mm aperture or a 20mm aperture, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute, because we've been having a chat and there will be changes. But with this rat, as you can see it, that comes in at £17.95. Now the really good thing is with these guys is because they understand the importance of looking after their clients, they've allowed me to give you guys a discount code. And if you go onto their website and you type in for the promo code when you're at the checkout, TGL15, which is my my discount code, you'll get 15% off your purchase, whatever purchase that may be. And then if you look at their website as well and you kind of read into a little bit more, on your subsequent purchases you're also going to get discounts. So these guys are really trying to make a business in a sensible, non-greedy manner, and that's why they need your support. But what else can I say? So let me give you an example of the prices. So this rat here is £17.95. The crow is £19.95. The bunny, obviously because there's more metal involved here, so, and this is kind of how they're working out their prices as to how much material they're having to provide. The bunny with the 2 reactive targets is £24.95. Now this kind of frame on which you can put their targets, and by the way, if you get the pellet traps, you can opt for their targets as well. But what you'll see here is that you have, I'm going to open this up, Also some reactive targets underneath, and the apertures on them are 10mm, 25mm and 50mm. That comes in at £39.95. So the two resettable targets, you've got the cowboy and the bunny. I feel so bad for picking up the wrong paddle. Anyway, they're both £34.95. And the Know Your Limits, now you Know Your Limits I think is brilliant, but that's at £49.95. So we're talking about affordable products that are going to last you a lifetime, provided you look after them. You know, obviously in their bare metal form, if you take them outside and you leave them outside to get wet, then they do risk rusting. So it's important that you do spray them up when you can. I'm just throwing facts at you here, guys, sorry. But one of the other things, I'm looking at this kind of Know Your Limits target. So what we've got is we've got a 3mm gong, a 5mm, a 7mm, a 10mm, a 15mm, a 20mm and a 25mm. And the nice thing is these are all resettable as well, because at the back of them they've got magnets, and they simply hold the gong up once they've been shot. So, hang on, there you go, and you can reset them. Very, very simple in their design. And the other thing about these is that if there's an issue, you can simply, I'm going to try and do this, I've got a magnet at the back as well, you can simply replace these, okay? Again, all very easy to put together. You don't need instructions. So the clever thing about all these targets is because they've been cut with using lasers, the lads are actually able to create different designs. And if you go onto their website and you wanted something specific to maybe your gun club, or I don't know, a birthday present or something like that, you can send them a design and they can work a target out to suit you. Obviously there'll be a cost involved with that, but you just have to have a chat with them, and they are very, very accommodating. I think, oh no, I've not covered all the topics. So obviously what you see here, apart from this one that's got the 50mm aperture at the bottom, the targets are mainly 25mm apertures and 20mm apertures. So they don't really suit HFT at the moment. Although saying that, if you can hit these targets with the 20mm apertures at distance, you know, you're not going to go far wrong with an HFT target, that's for sure. But what I will say to you is that I've had a conversation with Tom and Max, and I said to them, look, you know, there are different makes of targets on the market that do have adjustable apertures where you can select what you want. We've talked it through, and it looks like they're going to be developing some targets in the future that will have adjustable apertures, so then you can decide what sort of size of target you're actually aiming at and shooting at distance, and then that way that will cover a few different options. But in fairness, you know, once you go down this road, I think it would pay for the price to get yourself to 3 or 4 of these targets, and then you can set them up at distances that suit you, and you should be able to enjoy them forever and a day. Now there was something else that I was going to say, and that skipped my mind for the moment. Oh yeah. And one thing that I do have to mention is that both Tom and Max from the Airgun Target Company have very kindly agreed to sponsor me on my HFT journey. So going forward with a lot of my airgun reviews and also my HFT series, you're going to see these targets being shot at and being used, and I will give you an ongoing kind of review as to how they perform. Guys, don't forget that coupon code, sorry, discount code, I don't want to call it coupon code, that discount code of 15%. if you go onto their website, and you'll see the details, you know, I've had it up in the on my right hand side, so your left hand side of the screen. If you go onto their website and you select some of these targets, just remember, type in TGL15. I'll put that discount code here. Very simple, TGL15, and that will give you 15% off any of the products that they've got on their website. Yeah, so big thumbs up to Max and Tom. Guys, thank you very much for speaking to me on Thursday and for providing me with all this gear. I'm going to have a lot of fun using it, that's for sure. The Know Your Limits, which goes down to 3mm, hey, that's going to be some, you know, that's going to be fun. That obviously tests my skills, and the different rifles I use as well. I think that will be really, really handy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this works. For now, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Remember, pop over to the Airgun Targets company website, which is www.airguntargetcompany.co.uk. You've got the address up here. And support a British company, you know. It is all made in the UK. It's all very kind of cleverly and simply designed. And if you don't want to spray them up, you don't have to. You know, you can shoot them as is, and I think most people would do. But if you really want them to stand out, you know, against a dark background, well, then you may choose to paint the bodies, the main bodies of these targets, either a white or a yellow, and have the reactive target at the back, the paddle, either a red or a black. Whatever suits you. Guys, until the next one, as always, take care out there. Be safe, shoot safe, and bye for now.